Oh, hi. My name is Victory Brown, and I'm very delighted to be here again as a speaker at HashiTalk Africa 2022. Today we're going to be talking more about, so let me introduce myself. Sorry. My name is Victory Brown, and I'm an open source advocate, a content writer for Web3, and I'm also on the advisory board for DrupalCon Prague 2022. I'm very excited to be here. Well, today we're going to talk about building an inclusive developer environment. I'm going to talk about how organizations could build an inclusive developer environment and how developers could identify inclusive developer environments. First, we have to talk about what inclusion is. Inclusion is including everybody despite demography, belief. It doesn't really matter, but to an organizational level, it goes far beyond that. Inclusion means being open to different thoughts, different working patterns, different people, different cultures, and how all of this could work together to build a very good and usable product. Now let's talk about developer environment. A developer environment is a workspace for developers to make changes without breaking anything in a live environment. So it's like a playground where developers go and they contribute, collaborate, and interact with one another on a product development process without actually working on without actually destroying the real projects. Developer experience. Developer experience describes the experiences developers have while they are working or while they are using your product. I know we talk about user experience a lot, but in this angle, we're going to be looking at the users as developers. So developers using softwares, using different frameworks, using different developer environments to build products for users. So we're talking about that particular experience that developers have. Next, we've talked about developer environments. So how can organizations create good developer experiences? First, fitting architecture. This has to do with the structure of the organization. So if an organization has a fitting structure where there is hierarchy and developers have who they would refer back to for feedback and communication can easily take place seamlessly, it's said to say that that particular organization has a fitting architecture. Next, we have great tools, great working environments, easy to learn framework, and also like a proper documentation process for these developers. That way you create a good developer experience as developers work in your organizations to build products. Next, we have a non-toxic team culture. So in an organization, in an environment where team members are free to interact with one another, there's no hostility, and as much as members work independently, they could easily work together. That can also help to build a good developer experience. Now, how could developers identify organizations or cultures that depict bad developer experience? We have finger pointing. So if you're in a community or in a team where there's a lot of finger pointing and name calling and blames, it doesn't really give off a good experience. So there could be conflicts, but when the conflicts moves to finger pointing and blames and it goes on all the time, that actually shows that's a red flag for that organization or for that particular team. Next, we have constant overloading of teams. This happens a lot where the organization does not have a proper or an outline structure of hierarchy for developers to give feedback to. Then we have diluted responsibilities, can also be caused by lack of structure, lack of accountability and responsibility for team members and team leads. So how could organizations make developer environments more diverse and inclusive? How could they do this? One of the ways that organizations can make the developer experience more diverse and inclusive for developer environments is by hiring from a diverse community. So we have diversity job boards that are inclusive to the Black community, minority, women, and all of that. Organizations could go to these job boards and recruit diverse employees for their organization. Next, they can provide targeted internships to these organizations or to these spaces where it is more diverse. There's like a pool of diversity of talent and all of that. So organizations could create hackathons, challenges for these communities. I could use it for a way to outsource talents from these diverse communities that could be onboarded into their community. Then we have build diversity and inclusion into the culture and value of the organization. So when diversity and inclusion is built into the culture of your organization, when new employees come into your organization, they are aware of this, and it is kind of like introduced into their system. So when they come in, they have to work in that pattern because it is written in their code of conduct, it's written in the employee workbook, and everybody in the organization is well aware of this. So it is very important that developers are, in conclusion, it is very important that developers are put in an environment where it is healthy and conducive enough for them to work. And when I say developers, I do not just mean programmers. I'm talking about the full team, the whole organization. You have to make the environment where this product is being built to be a very healthy one, because there are humans working on it. And sometimes being in an environment where you experience poorly, or is being experienced poorly, could lead to low production in work, and low production could lead to low outcome, and eventually it could also be a loss on the company side. So organizations should focus more on building a healthy and diverse developer environment for all. I'm going to leave it a quote. It says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. This is why we call it the present. Well, thank you for listening. You can connect with me on all social medias at Victory Brown, and I would love to hear your questions. I will be in the waiting room to answer your questions, any question you'd have based on this session. It was nice talking to everybody here. See you all soon again.